the swing. It's come from the down one, and then try to go to the up one, and the up going down. It's like more, right, extremely, right, from lower to upper, upper to lower. So it's not normal. This is out of control. Or this one is show about, looks like, right, the sine curve. Not the normal control chart that we're going to have the potting swing around the mean. So in this case, it shows about the cycle, right? So this is out of control. But anyway, I just show you about the real example. But once again, for the exam, just make the decision based on out or in, based on the control mean only. Okay. And the next one is about run test. As I show you from several control charts, it shows that if you have some pattern exists in the control chart, in the world we make a conclusion that is our control, right? So we have one test that can test the control chart and tell us that whether or not it has a pattern exists within that control chart. That test we call the run test. Don't worry, we are not test you about the run test in the Excel using the calculation. Just provide you the information that the run test is used for testing the pattern within the control chart. Okay. So the idea is that we're gonna counting what we call the number of run from the control chart. And based on the number of run, you're gonna have like the standard value that calculate from the sample size, right? And then you're gonna use the statistical method, right? 99% or 95% confidence, remember? Right? That you're gonna calculate the z value, something like that. That you study from statistics class to tell that okay, it's had the pattern or not. But for us, okay, I will not cover that one. Just want you to know that run test. This is the test that's used for evaluate that we have the pattern exists in the control chart or not. Okay. And it's evaluated based on the number of runs. So there are several ways to counting the number of runs based on type of the run that you want to count. Generally, we have two types. Counting the run by using above and below, and counting the run by using up and down. For example, in this case, the first one counting the number of runs based on above and below. We know that this one is the mean, right, on the target, the average one, right? So we look at this first point is below mean, right? So we using B. This one above mean we using A. The third one above mean we using A. The fourth one below mean we using B. Okay. So we identify above or below mean from every point that we copy, and then we group it and counting number of subgroups. Right? How many groups within this control chart that you have? Okay. So in this case we have one, right? The same above and below should be stay in the same group. Okay. So is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is have 7 runs. Okay. And then we can use this 7 runs to make a further calculation that we are not covering in our class to tell that this have the pattern or not. Another type of counting the number of runs is using the concept of up and down. So the first one we cannot measure because we don't have the previous point. We start with the second one. We are with the one compared to the previous one. This one is more than the previous one, right? Which we call it up. The third one compared to the second one is more than, right? Is up. The fourth one below, right? Is less than the third one, so we call down. Something like that. It's compared with the previous one, the predetermined one. And then we counting the number of subgroups within this control chart. So then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Indicate we have 8 one. Okay, and then we can use this number one to calculate in the first calculation using the concept of statistic testing by the hypothesis, something like that. Right. But first, okay, just want you to know, was it run test? Is what the test or pattern in control chart exists or not, something like that. Okay. And in conclusion, right, variable data, once again, we apply X bar and R chart. So you need to, select the sample site, 5, 9, or more, right? And how many points that we're going to plot in? Generally, it's about 20 to 25 samples, right? And how about the attribute? Please make sure that you understand P chart and C chart. P chart is proportion, so you need to make the sampling first, right? And measure the fraction of defective based on the sampling size. But for C chart, right, you measure number of defects per unit. So you're just counting number of defects per unit. You are not calculating the fraction. Okay. So this is the P and C that you need to be careful. Yeah. So lastly, before we see the example, as I told you at the beginning that although our process is in control, but we also prefer process is capable to produce the output within the design specification. Because you have the process in control, but the output that's out of your process is not the one that customer wants. It's not within the specification, so it's worth nothing. Okay, so then we need another measurement beside the control chart. We call process capability to evaluate that process can produce the output within the design specification or not. Okay, so in this case, the process capability, right? We're gonna starting with this one, this figure, right? You can see we have the figure A, B, and C. Let's say that this is the sampling distribution. This line represented for specification. Lower spec, upper spec, lower spec, upper spec, lower spec, upper spec. And for sure, if you look at figure C, we can see some of the sampling distribution out of the specification here. So in this case, figure C is the process is not capable. So we don't want it. Figure A and B, yes, all the output from the sampling distribution stay within the specification, right? It's okay. But in practical, we prefer B more than A. Because for A, it's quite, you have no safety factor here. It's just matching, right, with the spec. So it doesn't say, even though that it's within the spec, but it's just perfect match. So it can have something that happen, right? So in the practical way, we prefer the figure B. That all the output that you can see the distribution stay quite, stay within the spec, but not that close much about the limit. So this can be figure B. And based on this figure B that we prefer, how can we make sure that our process is capable just like this? So then it's developed by some indicator from this figure. The first indicator we call process capability ratio. Is measured by using, the width of the spec, upper and lower spec. This is the width of the spec, right? And this is the width of the distribution. So how can we estimate the width of the distribution? So generally we're using from center to both sides 3 standard deviation. It's about 6 standard deviation, let's say. So then they develop this one, process capability ratio, just using upper spec minus lower spec. So this is the width of this spec, right? Divided by 6 standard deviation. We call CP, or process capability ratio. Using this one, divide this by this one. So for sure, if this figure happens, you should have the ratio more than 1, right? If you're using the same way to measure figure A, the ratio or CP can be equal to 1. Because the width of the distribution and the width of the spec is equally. But for figure B that we prefer, right, the width of distribution, the width of spec is like this, upper minus lower. But the width of distribution is just like this, 6 standard deviation. Okay, and we also have the safety factor. Generally, figure A, CP equal to 1, but we do have the safety factor. We prefer CP at least 1.33. So if you calculate upper spec minus lower spec divided by 6 standard deviation of that process, or CP, process capability ratio, and you get the CP value equal or more than 1.33, we make the conclusion that, okay, this process is capable to produce the output within the design specification. Okay, and furthermore, if you apply, the concept of 6 sigma, remember 6 sigma is about that the way that we try to reduce the mistake, reduce the defect. It's more seriously, right? So CP needs to be at least 2. It's quite difficult. But for our level, just want you to know that we're using 1.33 as a base one. If you get CP equal to 1.33 or more, okay, it's capable. Okay, just like this one. You have the process mean, let's say 210 minutes. Process standard deviation, about the sigma is about 0.516 minutes. Design specification is 210 plus or minus 3. So then you calculate CP. In this case, upper spec will be 213. Lower spec will be 207. Because come from 210 minus 3. Here, divided by 6 standard deviation, multiply 0.516. You have 1.938 is more than 1.33, right? So the process is capable to produce the output within the design specification. Okay. But the CP ratio, someone said that is not that the good one in some cases. Why? Because if you calculate, right, by using the width of the specification, using upper minus lower, then divided by 6 standard deviation. So you come from the assumption that the mean of the spec and the mean of the process is stay the same. But someone said, if it's not the same, you cannot apply this one. So then they're gonna have another indicator as well that measure just half of them, but select the minimum one. So that indicator we call process capability index. It's calculated by Instead of using upper minus lower, they're using upper minus mean, and then divide just 3 standard deviation. And another one using mean minus lower, divided by 3 standard deviation, and then you select the minimum value. You select the minimum value. So then in this case, if your mean of process and the mean of the spec stay at the same position, these two values can be equally. Okay? If it's not the same, you select the minimum one. Okay? So then in this case, once again, we want at least one, but practical we use 1.33. So that's we come from the minimum of these two values. For example, in this case, the process mean is 0.25, process standard deviation is 0.0005, upper is 0.251, lower is 0.249. For sure that in this case, mean and mean of spec is quite the same. So if you apply the process capacity index, right? Mean upper spec 0.251 minus mean 0.25 divided by 3 standard deviation, and mean 0.25 minus lower spec 0.249 divided by 3 standard deviation. You have both these two values equally. In this case, you have around 0.67. That's less than, 1 or 1.33 whatsoever. Normally I use 1.33, generally both of them. So then it's not capable. Right. So nothing much here. So based on the formula, right, just a minute. Okay, so in this case, if you look at the formula, you can see if we prefer CPK more than 1, just like 1.33, that we have the clarity factor. So it means that sampling distribution stay within the spec. Right. But if CPK equal to 1, it still stay within the spec, but one side of them is perfect match with the limit. If you have CPK around, positive value, so it means majority stay within the spec. If CPK equal to 0, just half of them. If CPK is negative value, so majority is out of spec, something like that. So in conclusion, today for quality control, we prefer two things. The first one, process in control. The second one, process have to be capable to produce the output within the design specification. So in this case, right, this one, we have some part of it all spec, we don't want it, remember? This one is better. This one is better than the second one. This one is better than the second, because we stay within the spec very chill. Right, so that don't worry much. That's this. Okay, the next one I will go to, a little bit example. We're gonna have the yes.
I like to use it. You like to make mistakes and erase them?
Okay. We have about five example actually. 5 example. Okay. I will not do this. Just talk that which chart that you're gonna apply. Okay, the calculation is you know what formula and you can find it.
So will be
So the first one, the first example, do you think which chart that we should apply for this? The first example, red baron airline
P chart.
P chart, right?
Yeah.
Correct. The P chart. Because it's measure about number of leg planes, right? But it's come from the base of your sample, 300 arrival and departure plane. So just like that, you make the sampling 300 flight and see that how many flights are late, right? So we should apply P chart for the first example, P chart. How about the second example? It's about the process capability. Right? The second example is about the process capability. It said that okay, this is like the critical dimension of the certain service is time. Politically random sample of 3 service instances are measured for time. So the result of the last 4 samples are shown in the following table. Okay. So suppose that the standard deviation process this is 5.77. If the spec 500 plus or minus 18 seconds, is the process capable, right? Using 3 sigma quality, so it means using z equal to 3, right? How can we do that? So you can calculate the CP and CPK, right? You can calculate CP and CPK. You know about upper spec, right? In this case, upper spec is 518, right? Upper spec is 518. It's come from 500 plus 18. Lower spec is 482. 482 is come from 500 minus 18 seconds. You know about the standard deviation sigma equal to 5.77, right? How about the mean? You just calculate the mean from all the sample, right? How can you find the means? In this case, 2 ways. The first way is simple one. You have 5 samples, right? You just calculate the first one, average one. Your second one, average the second one. So you can have 4 average value, and then you average all that 4 average value. Or you can sum up all of them, divided by 12. You can have a mean of the process, right? Or x bar in this case. Then you can calculate, right, CP and CPK, okay? Yeah. And how about example number 3? The data is about the time, so you know that. So which are that we can apply? Example 3. The data in the table is time. Which are that you can apply? X bar and R chart.
Correct.
And based on the data, there is no standardization of the population.
Okay.
So you need to using the value A2 or D3 or D4 from the table, right?
Yeah.
So my point is that in this case, example number 3, can you tell me about N? N is equal to what? N.
4.
4, yes. N equal to 4. You plotting 20 points, right? 20 points, and you have N equal to 4. Every time, every day, you sampling 4 patients. Okay? And example 4, can you tell me which chart that's appropriate for this one? Example 4, P chart, yes. Because all this wrong number is based on the sample of 100 calls. Right? So it's P chart. And the last one, what do you think? Customer complaint. Example number 5 is C chart. case C chart. Okay, C chart. So that's it. So the calculation of this is not the problem for you. You know the formula. Just substitute the formula. Just make sure that you know that what is your end. Right? That's it. Okay. But I will try to make it
simple.
Not that simple, but you have something think that okay, it's gonna P or C, but X bar or X something like that. Don't just kidding, okay? So that's all. Okay. You have the case study Belfield company, right? Is using the control chart to calculate. Right? So I suggest you using the Excel, right? So this is very easy for you. Right? And the case is not difficult. Case not difficult for the Belfield map, so it's still Monday. Because our last class is on Tuesday. No more case. This is the last one. Okay. And on the next 2 days, I'm gonna talk about the exam. How can you prepare for the exam? Okay? Please remind me as well. That's it for today. So you have the presentation, right, of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel case study. So please do that, and then we're gonna go home.
Check it out.
กูว่าวันหน้าเสาร์ได้
ถ้าเสาร์ดีที่อาร์ซื้อโทรศัพท์อยากต้องซื้อช่างถึงวัน
มึงก็ซื้ออะไร
มึงเขาซื้ออีก10
คลาส
1 เทราไบต์อยู่แล้ว
แล้วก็ซื้อ SD ค่ะ1 เทราไบต์อีก
Okay, so for this case study, we're gonna talk about Ritz-Carlton and its quest for service excellence. So first, I'll give you a brief company overview and then we'll answer the case question. Actually, there are 10 questions. So first, let's begin with Ritz-Carlton. So it was founded in 1998 by Cesar Ritz in Paris. And he had a specific vision. He wanted to create a luxurious and to prepare guests he created his first hostel, and after, in the beginning of the century, some hoteliers and financiers organized and formed the Ritz-Carlton Management Corporation. Then the company developed, and in 1983, the name and the pyramid were purchased by a real estate developer, William B. Johnson, and so it became the parent company of Ritz-Carlton. And he has a very specific vision. He wanted to create a luxury hotel group with the highest standards of hospitality industry, and so he wanted to appeal high value clients and corporate travelers. And so, just briefly, today Ritz-Carlton is an American company having its headquarters in Atlanta. The company is managing 59 hotels worldwide in 20 countries. And this number is important. 87% of customers are satisfied with the experience, and they qualified it as memorable. So we're gonna see why the experience at Ritz-Carlton is a quality, is one of with high quality. Okay. So first question: what values does focus on the gold standards have for Ritz-Carlton? So actually, the philosophy of Ritz-Carlton is really to be a prestigious company, to give highly personalized services for its customer, and to provide high quality services. And all this is stated in the gold standard of the company with three main stuff. So first, the credo. So they want to provide the best personal services, to make the guest stay as pleasant as possible, and to do so they provide many services. For example, they have 24-hour room service, they have many on-site stuff like fitness center, fine restaurants, name room, lobby music, so very many different small things that at the end made the experience quite nice for the customer. And we're going to see a short video showing you how the staff really pay attention to each detail to offer them the best experience possible. So basically this video is to show you that they are ready to do everything for the customer. And so secondly, we have the motto of the company. It's "We are ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen." So basically the employees are seen as equal as the guests, and they have to act so there is being respect, and they have to really act in a highly professional and cautious manner with the clients, and they're committed to excellence and to quality. Then we have the three steps of services that each employee has to. So every employee has to always respect this. So first one, they have to greet his customer, to give them a warm and friendly welcome. Then they need to know that they have to anticipate the need of the customer. They need to do everything even before the customer knows it. And then the first thing they really need to do every time is to bid the customer farewell. So they have to give them a warm welcome, to use the names, and so to give them warm welcome so that they will come back one day. So Question 2 was about information. So to have this high level of quality, we will see that information has a really central role in everything that Ritz-Carlton does. Information is crucial because service quality relies on it. So first, for the 3 steps or services that I just mentioned, actually, so for example, all employees need to remember the customer's name, so they need also to know the customer preferences, such as the preferred pillow, if they have food allergy or stuff like this. So really, they need they gather information from the reservation system, and employees has to remember it to give the best possible services and to provide exceptional services to the customers. Then, in the process control of the company, they have implemented the DQPR. It means a dynamic quality production report, and it's a system used to record all the defects. So they gather, they report, and they track defect data from the desired service level. So, for example, if a room was not clean, or if the room was not ready upon checking, or if they did a mistake in the room reservation, or any kind of error has to be recorded, and then they can analyze or identify the cause, the departments that are concerned, and they can fix and solve very quickly the issue. So really, they gather all data to make sure to make sure it will not happen again, and to offer a high level of quality.
So the next topic is about Ritz-Carlton's employees, and the question is how Ritz-Carlton ensure that the employees can deliver all these high service qualities. And therefore we first of all take a look at the 3 steps of the early employee's career. We first of all have the employee selection, then we have the employee orientation and training, and after this continuous coaching. So for the employee selection, Ritz-Carlton has a really rigorous employee selection, and the managers of our RC developed in the past personality profiles for each position, and they did this by capturing the key personalities of their best employees. And they did this for the goal to access individual communication skills, attitude, motivation, work experience, and behavior. So if they pass the selection process, there's orientation and training following. First of all, we have the orientation seminar. This orientation, all of the new hires must attend, regardless of their position. And this is for informing them about the philosophics of Ritz-Carlton. And after that, there's following a day 21 meeting, and this is just an informal meeting to make sure everyone gets the principles right, and it's like a forum to share feedback and stuff. So and after that, each of the new hires has a 30-day process in which they are trained individually for their specific role in the company. And the training approach here is tell, show, do, review. So, and at the end of the training, they have to do a certification. So they have to demonstrate the skills in front of their supervisors and make sure they got everything right. And if they pass that test, they can work on a long-term basis for Ritz-Carlton. But even in that case, we have the continuous coaching. So the coaching is still going on, and every day they work before their shift. They have a 15 minutes meeting where they still discuss the basics, the philosophics, and also it is used for information sharing, like if there's a special event or special guests with special needs. Okay. So the next question is about problem-solving behavior, and the question deals with if the problems can be solved immediately. Why is it important to report these errors? Yeah, and therefore Ritz-Carlton invented the dynamic quality information system. It's just basically the
gathering, reporting, and tracking of all the errors and problems that occur, and therefore they can create a weekly report that is presented to the manager at the end of every week. And this is basically to identify the root causes for these problems, then eliminate these problems, and make sure that in the future the problem is solved faster and better if it happens again. Okay, next slide. So, next question is about the corporate culture and what are the main important factors for Ritz-Carlton. And there we have the three important theories, like the commitment to excellence, employee focus, and continuous improvement. So, next slide, please. Yeah. Commitment to excellence is the gold standard. We already heard about it, and this is to make sure that we serve at the highest quality to our guests. And the employee focus means that we emphasize at the selection and the training of our employees to make sure they have the right mindset to serve our guests the greatest. And the continuous improvement is about the DQIS system we just talked about, and also incentive programs for our workers. If they have nice ideas to share, we try to implement them at our workspace, and this is all for our guest satisfaction. So
next question is about the use of external company JD Power and Associates to help conduct a customer satisfaction survey and gain insight for Ritz-Carlton management. So what does Ritz-Carlton gain from the use of these external resources? Okay. So Ritz-Carlton management realized that their internally collected information cannot be used as an effective tool to see the trend of customer satisfaction, and also is proved to be satisfactorily invalid. So this is the example of opinion card that they use. Next. So therefore, they hire JD Power and Associates to help conduct telephone customer satisfaction survey right after the stay. So after this survey, right, the JD Power will also provide monthly report with year-to-date information and also 3-month rolling information. This will help Ritz-Carlton to see short-term and long-term trends and can address any prominent incoming issues that would impact customer satisfaction. Next question. What does Ritz-Carlton have to do in order to achieve high quality service in consistent manner? So this question is about consistency, right? So we're thinking about two aspects. The first one is about employee, which is the main task force. So they consistently cultivate high quality service mindset to their customer since the selection process, orientation, and they have constant training for the employee to develop their high quality service mindset, which is consistent from high level management to all level employees. So that become very strong culture of the organization. And also apart from task force, they also use the kind of strong control process to help make the use of internal information and also external resources to identify the area for improvement and continuously improve to achieve better and better customer satisfaction. So next question. What are the possible biases involved gathering information using their internal developed system, daily quality production report? So this is because the information or defect will be recorded by Ritz-Carlton employee themselves. So sometimes when they record the information, when they found any defects, they will be occupied in resolving that instant defects and try to kind of pacify their customer. So sometimes they might forget to record the defects. That's why Ritz-Carlton try to deploy using external resources. So for next question, what methods and principles that Ritz-Carlton have in place to accomplish its mission of delivering high quality service? So basically, it's a summary of what we have mentioned previously. So it's 3 steps of service, and Ritz-Carlton Basic is kind of the guiding principle that help employees know how to behave in order to satisfy customers. And they also have like quality control network and also internal system to control and also the process in place as well. And lastly, they also use internal resources which have specialization in customer satisfaction, and this help them to have like market insight and also maintain competitive advantages among the same business in this industry. Okay. So basically, this is the example of 3 steps of service that's used to guide their employees. Okay, next. Okay. So lastly, what is the key takeaway from this case study? So first of, I think this case study mostly cover about the quality control process, which include information system and also root cause analysis and problem solving methods. Right. So in order to achieve it, I think mostly Ritz-Carlton use the Six Sigma method, which is to first define gap for improvement. Second, to measure and collect data. Third, to analyze the area for improvement. Fourth, to implement improvement process, and fifth, to maintain this service level. And apart from the consistent and effective control process, they also focus a lot on employee, which is the important factor to help implement and sustain the service level for their customers.
Okay, good. So I think it's very clear for your answer. So you can see that for the case study, if we try to link to the information that we studied last time, the Ritz-Carlton, they do develop both system and also the culture and also employee empowerment, right? So that's and also they apply the system that keep on as a database, right, in order to solve for the problem. Right? So Ritz-Carlton is quite, the case study that if you want to study about the qualities, right, it's one of the case that you need to study about. Yeah, right? So you know that for the employee, they have their empower to spend up to $2,000 right, in order to use that money for solving the problem for their guests. Right, so it's quite interesting. Okay, good. Okay, and we have left one more class for this course, but we have another course that we're gonna see each other again. So next Tuesday, right? Let me teach you the last topic. Right, that will be the aggregate planning, and then we're gonna talk about the exam for your preparation. Okay, so today that's it. Thank you for your attention. Okay, see you next week.
One of the topics we can see that, right? So like whether it be motivation or personality. So obviously, if we do a poll, we're just going to choose outliers. And then you're going to be self-choosing. What should we do? Just random selection? Like nothing gives or nothing gives. Or do you want to do a poll?
No, 1, 5, 2.
Yeah. And then if it's a bar, I would have to be like, give me the 1 person on each group and then everyone said yes. Okay, right? Easy one.
So noisy during the presentation. I'm so irritated about this.
You like this?
What do you mean?
One way.
Actually, like, it's okay, like, if we cannot understand, we don't need to chat each other. I also have difficulty to understand his presentation or the lecturer's explanation. But anyway, we need to chat each other. Like, it's works if they're like they're chatting each other. Yeah, especially this class, like they talking to each other because maybe like don't concentrate. Yeah, and also like if the other team are going to the presentation, then going to listen so that they can more than in the lecture.
I think that maybe two. The reason is two. Meaning, first, lecture is great. Second, attitude.
Yeah. Is it like I said, how is your campus university?
If bring everybody.
Actually, like in the university, like bachelor degree, it's okay because like it's like complementary classes. We are willing to join this class after the working or anyone MBA classes, and we are mature for the businesses or like need to pay attention to the lecturers. Real money, our money. Can get out from the classes. Last semester, French students are there.
Oh, yeah. Somewhere great.
No, it's like because I pay money to listen to the lecturers lecture, not the chatting with the people around here.
Yeah, I totally agree because really sucks. I really hate that. I really hate that. I don't have any good experience with that. I think that I deeply understand why they are called Chinese in Europe. European Chinese. They are called European Chinese, and then yeah, totally same. Totally.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Okay. Sorry. You? Oh, first one.
But do you have all the name of the chapter? Because if I just post it, case 1, case 2, case 3, you will be confused.
Don't post it, but like maybe check.
Just check it first, take your time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, check the handout.
I don't. Okay, so honestly, I didn't pay attention. So when she said like the structure of the exam,